Hello, hello. I think this is on. Can someone tell me if they can hear me? I've started a new jumper. Hello from Florida, Java Junkie. I cannot wait to come to Florida. We will be there in July. And everyone keeps telling us it's going to be hot, and we know it's going to be hot. It'll be fun. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Coming in loud and clear to Indiana. There we go. Hello, Janice. Hi, Jess from Cardiff. Oh, where in Cardiff are you? Let me know. There's a new yarn store opening in Cardiff. The official opening is next Saturday at 10 a.m., I think. So Mark and I are going to pop along. It's called Arcade Yarn in the Morgan Arcade. So yeah, that's going to be fun because we don't have a yarn shop in Cardiff anymore. So that'll be nice. Would love to know more. Are you in Adamstown? Oh, not far away. Yeah, go and check out, if you're on Instagram, go and check out, I think I put it on my story yesterday. Let me find the link as well while we're chatting, and I can pop the link in, then you can all go and follow their website as well. Arcade Yarn Store. Arcade Wool Shop. There we go. I forget with the lives, there's not a two-way. So I'm reading your comments, so I will try and keep an eye on the comments. I don't really have anything to chat about, really, apart from... Oh, the camera's in reverse. That's annoying. I've started a new jumper, so I just thought I'd talk about that for a little bit. But if you've been here on a live with me before, you know I can't multitask. So I'm now trying to find the web link for the yarn shop for Jess. Let me paste this in. Oh, hang on. Is that working? No, that's not working. Victoria, I don't think it opens until Saturday. There we go. Arcade Wool Shop. That's their website. And let me find there. And if you find them on Instagram, they are Arcade underscore. Let me copy their profile and I'll paste that as well. So if you're all on Instagram, or any of you are on Instagram, pop along and give them a follow. So if you've just joined, hi. There's a new yarn store opening in Cardiff, which is very exciting. That's not why I'm here to tell you about, but it's very exciting. So yeah. Yeah, I haven't done a live forever. And it's that kind of weird, it's a Monday, but it's not a Monday. It feels like a Sunday because it's bank holiday. And I hadn't really, I'm now in a tangle. I hadn't recorded a video and I didn't have a lot of footage. But Mark is here. But I've started a new jumper, which I'll talk about. And I'm going to we're going to go old school. We're going to return to the project vlog style. So I'm going to film my progress with it. But I just thought I'd pop on and do a bit of a live, see who's around, see if anyone has any questions. And just do some ribbon, really. Back to Java Junkie. If you want to see the Atlantic from this side, I can show you my favorite beach. We are going to Florida for Disneyland. We are going to do... So we're going with my brother, middle brother, father 2, niece 2, and nephew 1. So we're going with the kids as well. And my sister-in-law's come in. My sister-in-law's parents, Nanny Sue might be watching this on playback. She watches all my podcasts. We're all going to Disney. and we're going to be Disney people for 3 weeks, and I'm very excited. It's my first time to Disney, but we're in safe hands because my sister-in-law's been many times. Like, I want to say like 8 times, maybe. And it was Mark's birthday this year, and it was a special birthday. And we were gonna go to America, and then my sister-in-law was like, "Why are you doing that? Come to Florida and ride roller coasters with us." And that's what we're doing basically. So yeah, so we're off to Florida in July. We were going to go in August, and it was really expensive. So we're taking the kids out of school. Olivia's 6, it's fine. So yeah, we're doing 3 weeks, which means it's slightly hotter. But I'm actually quite looking forward to boiling hot days, rainy afternoons to clear the air, and then we'll be queuing for roller coasters. It doesn't matter. So yes, I cannot wait. Lorraine is going in August, so wants hints and tips. Yeah, absolutely. I've never been, but it's all planned. There's an itinerary. I can tell you exactly what I'm doing on which day. It's very organized. And I'm quite an organized person, but even by my standards, that's really organized. But it's going to be fun. So yeah, that's what we're doing. But I'm hoping this jumper will be finished before we go to Florida. I'll talk about the jumper in a minute, and lots of you want to know about the wool. So let me just have a quick look back through the comments and see if there are any other questions. If you have any questions or comments, stick them in the chat. It's lush to see people from all over the world, from New York, Australia, Cardiff, locals. The Cozy Crab, hello, how are you? Nice to see you. Canada, Newport, that's quite close as well. Germany, we've got a right mix of people. Yeah, Mark is in the background. Mark is prepping lunches. So I've made food. We're having 3 bean chili for tea tonight. I've made it quite spicy, unintentionally. It was one of those, I put a chili in it and then I tasted it. I was like, can't really taste it. So I put another chili in, and that other chili might have been quite hard. So I've done lunches. So I've done tea. So Mark is doing lunches. So he'll be back and forth. Yeah, lots of you all around the world. But this is great. Victoria might get to the yarn shop on Saturday, finish working. Yeah, it opens on Saturday is the official opening. Then I think it's going to be Tuesday to Saturday. I think they're going to be closed on a Sunday and a Monday. But I walked past it last night. We were in the city centre for food, and I had to go and find it. So, and it looks really pretty. There's all loads of yarn in the window, and there's a little coffee shop next door to it. And yeah, it's going to be lovely to have a yarn shop again in Cardiff that's walking distance. I'm going on the trip of a lifetime and not even had to organise it. Yeah, absolutely. In fairness, whenever we do holidays, Mark is the planner. So, you often see the memes. It's like there's one person who's got all the plans for the holiday, and there's the other person that goes to the airport and doesn't even know where they're going. That's me. I don't have my passport. I don't have my boarding pass. Mark is in charge. He looks after me. So Mark and my sister-in-law are doing the whole thing. So I think the 3rd Monday we're away. I think that's my day to go yarn shopping. My brother and Mark are going to play golf with Katie's dad. Then Katie's like, "Oh, we'll go to Disney." I was like, "No, if that's on the schedule, that's a rest day. I'm resting on that rest day. If they're going to play golf, you go to Magic Kingdom if you want. I'm going to stay in the apartment. We've got like a villa with a pool. It's really nice." And then they were like, "Oh, but actually no one needs the car." I was like, "Oh, well, I can have the hire car and I can go yarn shopping." So I think that's my plan. So the 3rd Monday, I found a couple of yarn shops in Orlando. So I think that's my plan, is to go yarn shopping on that day. Are we getting a pack projects for holiday? There will be projects and stuff, because I don't mind queuing, right? We've been to theme parks before, right? The theme park, I'm happy to queue. and the rides in America are going to be worth the wait, right? But I feel like now I won't obviously take a jumper with me, but I'm thinking of taking socks are a good portable project, but I'm also thinking for the theme park queues, like the Hagrid ride is constantly a 3-hour queue. I think like it just permanently is. But I feel like I could take loads of my Toft projects with me. So I would talk about trying to finish my dolls, and I've still got like 8 dolls to make. But I could take those with me because literally I can have a crochet hook and a ball of yarn, and then in my pocket, I don't even need a bag. I can just pull and I can whip. So I think that's something like that is my plan. I need to double check that I can take a crochet hook into Disney. Does anyone know that on there? I don't see why I couldn't. But yes, that is the plan. So I'm going to obviously have a project for the plane. I was like, I'll have a project for when I'm like chilling in the apartment. They're like, there's no chilling in the apartment. Like, you'll be up at 7 and out by 8 every day and back at midnight. I'm like, oh. Like wait till like halfway through week 2 and I've had a meltdown. I'm like, I'm not coming anywhere. And I just need to have a little lie down. I genuinely am looking forward to it. I keep saying this and they're all like, you're not looking forward to this holiday. So no, I genuinely am. But it's not going to be the holiday that I get to sit down and just do nothing. Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you last week at Big Flock. Yeah, even Mark. Yeah, Sue's husband does all the planning. She's in charge of packing. Yeah, Mark does the packing as well. I put out all the things I want, and then he does. He's good at folding clothes. It's like I think you're either structured like that or you're not. Like I can't load the dishwasher. It just my brain doesn't work in that stacking things out and stuff. So yeah, Mark does all of that stuff. So yeah, that is going to be my plan. Oh, right. Nitty Natty takes knitting and crochet to Disney. She's got some bird vlogs. Oh, there we go. And then yeah, Emma, you need a bum bag. Yeah, I need a little portable project. And some of you don't need to look at a pattern for, Sean. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think something like a Toft, because legs and arms, bodies, they're really easy. And I've got the patterns. I can have the pattern on my phone. But like I know I've kind of made that many Toft animals now. I've memorized the leg, for example. So I think something like that, even if I don't actually finish stuff while I'm away for the 3 weeks, I can be doing something. But I'm thinking of taking we're flying like lunchtime. So we're going to the airport the day before so that there's no rush because there's like a lot of us to get to the airport. So I think I might take a shawl with me to start as like my holiday project. So that'll be perfect to knit on the plane. Really simple shawl pattern. And then maybe some crochet for when I'm out and about on the go in the park. That could be my plan. Oh, Maureen had a meltdown 4 days into Disney with nieces, just sat by the pool for the day. Yeah, so I think when we get there, we've got 2 days. Like we've got the first day that we arrive, then the following day we pick the hire car up, and it's just like a rest day. Then we do Disney, but I think in that first week we've got actual 2 rest days booked into the schedule. The other 2 weeks, then we've only got 1 rest day each. But ultimately, like it's very flexible, right? So if we wake up in the morning and I'm tired and they want to go on ahead with the kids, they can do that and we'll just get the next bus. So yeah, it'll be fun. I can't wait. Oh, have a chat with the yarn whisperer for the bag to carry on. Tell him I sent. Oh yeah. I was chatting to Katie last night. Actually, look, we're trying to work out whether we can plan on Amsterdam. Can you come and say hello, please? People are asking where you are.
Hi.
We're in reverse, and I don't like it.
Oh,
the camera's rotated. Yeah. Yes, I will chat to Katie. He's going to see Kylie tonight, which I'm very jealous of. Did you see that?
I know. Yeah. I
blocked it out of my memory. Oh, you've blocked him.
No, I just blocked it out of
Oh, you've blocked it out your memory, not blocked him.
No,
right. That would be fun. Do we plan to go to Four Pearls in Winter Haven? I think that might be the one that I looked at, Terry. I can't see now because I'm live on here, but I've definitely I opened a browser and I did a little bit of research. I think it is Four Pearls is the one.
You telling them what knitting shop you're going to?
Yeah, it's a knitting channel. He's like, "Have you planned your knitting shop?" Yes, absolutely. Oh, Terry said it's a great shot. Right, there we go. Okay, well, I'll double check, and if it's not that one, I'll add Four Pearls onto the list. So yes, that is the summer plan. But where's my swat? Let me get. So I'll talk about my jumper now in a moment. Is it my first? Yeah, it is my first trip to Disney. It's Mark's first trip to America. It's not my first trip to America. I went about 20 years ago to a friend's wedding. But it's both our first times to Florida. So yeah, we're very excited to be Disney-fied. But let me grab my swatch. We are going in July, Liddy. So I've now reached that point in work when there's things coming up and I'm like, oh, that's an after Florida problem, which then makes you realize how quick it is coming in your calendar because you can't do things because you're going to be away. And then, yeah, I know, like 100 plus Fahrenheit. Yeah, I think we're expecting it to be like UK Celsius, like between 38 and 40, I think, maybe slightly higher. It'll be fine. He says, like we haven't got a choice, right? That's the heat is the heat. Right, let me get my swatch and then I will talk about the project that I'm going to make. Oh, that is a good tip. If we take an empty water bottle, they'll refill it for free, so you're not paying for drinks. That does sound good. And yeah, plenty of water and a hat because this thing burns. My head burns even in the UK, like on a slightly overcast day. I can catch the sun on my head. I'll be having factor 50 with the kids. Right, let me get my swatch and then I can talk to you about my my project. So, how is Alpha and Glinda? Oh, they're actually here. I've not made masses of progress. I've made some progress. I think it will be quite a quick project because that was only like 45 minutes knitting. I came home from band one night and I did that while we were watching telly. And yes, they are. So the other one is still at the cuff. But I've started that one. So I'm very excited. They look really good. I think, bear with. Right. I think I had a little smudge on my screen. I'm not sure if you could see it, but I could see it. Right. So I'm going to start a new project. Mark's jumper is Mark's jumper. I've done a couple of rows on it. I'm just going to have to keep checking in on it. It's going to be... He's smirking. No, what, you don't need it in writing. It'll get finished. But it needs to be checked in every so often. But it's not going to be a quick one. And I've done loads of shawls lately, and I've just finished my test knit, and I've got some socks on the go. And it's like, I haven't knit anything for me apart from the shawls, but I haven't knit a jump. I don't remember the last time I made a jumper or anything for me. So I decided I wanted to make myself a jumper. We all know the speed with which I knit and how easily distracted I get. So I figured if I started it now, then it might be ready for the winter. And I saw that Max from Garcons, Max and Vincent, had just released the double knit version of his So Basic sweater. So that's the pattern that I'm going for. And I said it's a double knit version. And then I was like, I've got yarn in my stash, and this is why I'm partly like trying not to buy yarn this year, because I know I've got enough yarn in my stash to make like 3 sweaters for me and at least a sweater for Mark, and like there's loads of yarn here. So I grabbed this yarn. So this is really annoying me that I've got to go the other way. So this is yarn by the Wool Kitchen, Helen, and I think it's going to be the most gorgeous sweater, because it's going to be all over kind of a grey colour. So this is what's the name of the colour? Mission Control. So it's this all over grey colour with these orange flecks. It's not necessarily being picked up on the camera here, but it is a bright luminous, in the centre there, it's a really bright luminous orange. Oh, my sound is jittery. Okay, bear with. I haven't done anything here. There's nothing on. The Wi-Fi's not on. Are you doing? Are you watching anything on the telly? No. Because the Wi-Fi's gone. Funny. Oh, I'm stuttering. It's gone all Dalek quality. Is it still happening? Oh, it is a bit better now. Testing. Is that any better? If it's not, I'm going to have to just quickly end and then restart. Oh, it is a bit better. Oh, Emma said it's a bit better. Someone else said no, it's not. If I refresh, right, if I refresh I'll refresh the browser. It might end the live stream. Right, bear with me a minute. Hello, right. I'm back. It says there's 86 of you still there. Can you hear me? Is that any better? I'm getting hearts. I think that's good. Right, there we go. I have no idea what happened. Technology. Like there's nothing streaming anywhere. There we go. Right, so the So Basic sweater. I don't know what that's going to do to the playback, because I will save it down. We'll see. There might be 2 videos now. So I'm going to do the So Basic sweater. And I thought that it would be really good to use this yarn from my stash, which I've had forever. I bought this, and I know I talked about this in a video before. We shouldn't use lockdown. We won't say the C word. We shouldn't use lockdown as a measure of time, but we kind of naturally do now, don't we? So I definitely bought this from Unravel before lockdown. So it's at least 5 years old. But these center bits here are really vibrant orange in real life. It's not showing up necessarily on the camera. So I had a sweater quantities of it. I think I only need 5 skeins for a jumper for myself, but I got 7. I bought a 6, and then there was 1 left over. And Helen where she gave me the seven. She was like, it was the last one in the batch, have the seventh one as well. So I know then I wouldn't run out. So for those of you that have been around a while, I know I never was a swatcher. I've done an actual swatch and I've done different needle sizes. Now I know I could make like, it could be bigger with like a nice little border, but it did the job. So that's what the yarn looks like swatched up. So I did a 4mm needle here. Then I put a little pearl bump in. Then I did a 4.5mm needle here, and then another pearl bump. And then this was a 5mm needle. So who are you and what have you done with Martin? Yeah, I know exactly right. I actually really enjoyed doing this, and I feel like love your swatch. Maybe I was like, if I'm going to swatch, I'm going to swatch hard, and I'm going to do it properly. So I swatched earlier. Victoria never thought about doing that with different. Yeah, I'm not my idea. Someone, maybe Carmen from A Yarn Story. I've seen someone else do it. I think lots of people probably. It's a really neat way though that you just carry on with a swatch. And I did knit it in. I swatched it. I swatched it flat, but I slid it to the other end of the needle, so I stranded the yarn back, so it mirrors my knitting in the round tension. You can't see, but there are all the strands are here where I stranded it so that it would be a proper swatch. And I've got tension gauge or row stitch gauge on 4.5mm needles. So that's what I've done. So I did that this morning. I cast on my swatch because I finished my test knit this weekend. That's all done now completely. I finished the test knit for the deadline as I needed, but I've actually just finished off the final cast off. So I've done that. I've done a load of spinning this week. Where's my? Oh, it's down there. It's down in the bathroom drying. So I was like, where's my spins gone? So there's one that I finished. So ignore the blue bit. I've got more of the blue than I had of the variegated. So I just put the blue, I wound it onto the ball winder. Then I did a center pull ball and so I could ply it. So I'll just make a little tiny mini scheme of that. But it's that color there is the main color. So I'm going to do another video. The spinning is quite polarizing. Some folks love the spinning videos and others. And I think it's because I didn't start with spinning. This was a knitting blog. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lovely time. But I try and keep the spinning into separate videos. So I am going to do a separate video for the spinning because I'm now up to date with my spins for my blanket. I don't think I've shown off the last two. And I'm 3 then behind on my swatches. So I need to then do a load of swatching. So this is going to sit here now and just relax on the bobbin. And then I will put that onto the Niddy Noddy this week. How do we get onto spinning? I'm not sure. How did I go from, because this morning, it's like, I was just talking about this wool. How did I go from this to spinning? Yes. So this morning I finished all my spinning this bank holiday. So I'm up to date. So then I was like, I'm going to cast on a project. I'm going to cast on a sweater for me. So I did my swatch, got my needle size. I've wound the first 2. I love the way this looks in these cakes. So I'm going to alternate. I'm not doing anything fancy. I've never alternated. I've never made a handmade jumper. I've never made a jumper in hand-dyed yarn where it would really matter about alternating the skeins. Like Mark's Mild Mania, the grey colour, there was a marl all the way through the colours. That would have, you wouldn't have picked up any inconsistency in the dye. And then my bubble cardigan, Mark's bubble sweater, were done with commercial yarn. I made the Beauceron sweater by Vincent off of Le Garcons, which I did in commercial yarn. So this is going to be my first indie dyed jumper as well, which I'm really excited about. So I've been reading up about different ways of alternating skeins. I'm not doing like the helical knitting that you can knit 3 or 5 from the net. I'm not doing that. I'm going to get to the beginning of the round and I'm just going to use that yarn. And then when I get to the beginning of the round, I'm just going to use that yarn. And I think I chatted to a couple of friends and that's similar how they do it. And I'm sure there's probably pros and cons of different ways of doing it, but that's how I'm going to tackle it. So this is where I got to. So I've literally I've started because I had to wait for my swatch to dry. This is also why I never used to swatch, because if you swatch, you can't start your knitting, right? Because you've got to do the swatching and you've got to wait for the swatch to dry. So I really tried to embrace my swatch. I got my little my gauge square from Anton that I had in my advent from him last year. And then I was able to count my stitches. I did it properly. So then I've cast on. So in the ribbon, the color doesn't necessarily show off because obviously you've got the knits and the pearls. So yeah. And what I also did this afternoon, which is a polish the halo moment, is I taught myself the German twisted cast on. That's the cast on in the pattern. I watched a couple of videos and I was like, oh, that looks really difficult. My good friend Reese, Glasgow Yarn, has already made this jumper. He did the test knit for Max. And I messaged him. I was like, what cast on did you do on your jumper? And he went, I did the German twisted cast on like the pattern said. And that wasn't the answer that I wanted. I wanted you to tell me that you found a really easy, stretchy cast on. And he's like, sorry, you're just going to need to learn it. So I watched a few videos on YouTube and started the jumper. So I've, got that in place. German twisted cast on will change life. It wasn't going to change my life, Harry, at that exact moment when I was watching the videos. Stacey from Very Pink Knits is usually my go-to for like knitting technique, and I watched her do it, and I was like, no, it blew my little mind. So I ended up watching, I think, 3 different videos from people, and even then, Stacey's video to the other lady's video who I watched, they actually do the final bit different. So yeah, I don't know, but I've done it and it does look quite stretchy. So for those of you that don't know, someone's just asked a question. I think it's just a stretchy cast on. So often used for jumpers, like for necklines, often used for cuffs on heels, cuffs on socks. And usually I don't bother trying to learn. And I do I do a slingshot cast on, which I think is a variation on the long tail cast on. And I think the German twisted cast on is another variation because it's in that kind of, it's that kind of same technique where you have a long tail. So you need to estimate how much yarn you need for your cast on and then off you go. I'm assuming it was invented in Germany, which is why it was called the German twisted cast on. But I think it is just a stretchy cast on. So whether you do Judy's stretchy cast, I think she's got a stretchy cast on. I think it's just making sure that you know if you're a tight knitter or a tight caster on her, then you will be. Then you probably do need to think about it. Christine said, "Now I have trouble doing a regular because the German comes so naturally." Yeah, I think it's variations on what I was used to doing for my long tail, so I don't think it's going to be that different. But it seems really nice. It's given a nice little edge. So yeah, for those of you that have just joined, I have started a new pattern. Someone's asked what I'm making. So it's the So Basic sweater by Max Sear from Garcons. His original pattern, I think, was in fingering weight yarn a few years ago, and he's now just re-released it in a double knit version. So I wanted to make myself a sweater, and I think that pattern, because the way I envisage, so actually I swatched as well, but by swatching, I was and ahhing as to what type of pattern. I did consider the Guatemala sweater by Stephen West, and just not marl all my leftovers to make a double knit. I would just use double knit. But in the garter stitch here, you can't really see the flash of the colors as much as you can when it's in stocking stitch. So the swatch not only helped me work out my needle size, it also then made me think about what will work better for the yarn. So I think the all over simple stocking stitch sweater will really show off the colors of the yarn. So the yarn is by the Wool Kitchen. So yeah, Maureen, I can't help thinking of a signed pool and looking at it. Yeah, no, that is Helen's brand is assigned pooling. So a lot of Helen's patterns, she has assigned pooling patterns, whereby you wait for the color change to arrive, and then she's got different patterns where you do different types of stitches to really show off the flex of the yarn. So it is assigned pooling yarn, so no need for the hide in your face emoji. What I will do though is, and I did say this to Mark earlier, when I'm making the project, I want it to look like this, but because I've got short row shapings and it's a raglan sweater, so as I get shaping, if all of a sudden they started pooling and they were stacking on each other, I'll just pull a length of yarn and I'll sew the ends in later, but I'll pull lengths of yarn to stop the pooling. So I think it'll be okay because it's only on the skein, there's only one flash. The whole skein is basically a grey skein of yarn with just one flash that appears. But because the yarn is for assigned pooling, I will adapt if I need to. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I know Stephen used it. When I've done socks before, I've seen him do it. And again, I've watched videos, and I'm just like, it just looks really difficult. It looked really difficult. And need to change color. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to enjoy it. So I just stuck to my old cast on. Make sure the end of your round is in the back of the jumper. There'll be a slight but noticeable change in the variation. Yeah. Oh, change every 2 rounds. I assumed I had to change every round, Janice, but I hadn't thought about changing every 2. That could be helpful. I need to read on in the pattern. I think the beginning of round is the back of the jumper, but I will. It is a good point to note. I will double check where the round is, because I think it's in the back because it's a raglan. So I think it's in the back, and then I do the sleeves. I think that's how I set it up, but I'll work that out when I put the when I get to the next part of the pattern. I will check that. So yeah, thank you very much for that tip. And when doing a KP rib, I use one long tail cast on followed by a German cast. Oh, okay. Mix up different cast ons. Never thought of doing that either. So yeah, so I feel like it feels like a Sunday today because obviously it's Bank Holiday Monday. It is double knit. So the original So Basic pattern from Max was in fingering weight yarn. He bought out a double knit version, and then this yarn's been sitting in my stash for, like I said earlier, like before lockdown. So it's at least 6 years, if not older. And it was waiting to tell me what it was going to become, And then when Max released the double knit version, then it decided that that's what it wanted to be. So it's going to be a double knit jumper. So hopefully it'll grow quite quickly as well, because it's going to be 4.5mm needles. I'm on a 4mm needle at the moment for my ribbon. But it definitely feels like a Sunday. Obviously, we've got a bank holiday. I'm not sure if everyone else has got a bank holiday worldwide. Bank holiday here in the UK. So it's a Monday, but we've had quite a busy but lazy weekend. We've done quite a lot. We've been pottering around and doing a few things. And then I realized this morning I didn't have any footage. I started to film a little tiny video. Oh, it's Memorial Day in the US. Oh, okay, the right, US have bank holiday as well. Then I had a tiny little bit of footage, but not enough to make a video. And then I was like, oh, I know what I can do. I haven't done a live forever. So let's do a live and you can keep me company for an hour while I work on my jumper. But I was worried that my swatch wasn't going to dry in time and you'd all have to sit there watching me with my tongue out, concentrating or swearing at YouTube while I try and master the cast on. But as it happens, it all worked out well in the end. So yeah, I'm really pleased. What I really like as well, and I didn't plan it like that, I started it. I've got a little flash of the colour on the actual cast on, which I think is really nice, because then even though in the ribbon, I don't like the fact that this is mirrored and reversed. In the ribbon, we're getting very little flashes of the colour. I really like that I've got a flash on the neckline, so I think that's going to be really cute, just as a little nod. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm hoping that it's going to be a mindless project. So once I've done the raglan setup, and it's got a nice little pattern on the sleeve, you won't be able to see it in the picture if I show it again. It's got a 5x1 rib. So it'll be interesting enough to knit as well then, because when I'm doing the yoke, obviously it's plain stocking stitch for the front and the back, but on the sleeves it's a five knit, one purl. So you get the really nice little rib effect coming down. So that'll be a nice little feature. But once I've done the short row shaping and I have maybe not even split for the sleeves. Once I've done the short row shaping and I'm then into the main body of the raglan, hopefully it then just becomes a mindless project. So in the same way that whether I'm just knitting a really simple shawl, like I come home from band. So when I come home from band, I get home about 10:15 in the evening, and it's something then like I can't just go straight to sleep. So we usually watch some telly when I get home from band, but I need then something really mindless. So that's where my socks can come in possibly. But if I've got this on the needles, this is then a mindless project because it's just knitting around, and certainly the body is just going to be knit every stitch. So that's my plan, which is why, yes, I probably have no business casting on another project. But by casting on another project, then I actually get, I'm setting myself up for something mindless. And I'm also using yarn for my stash. So on my my tally about trying to use more yarn than I'm buying in, this will hopefully give me a good 400 or 500 grams of yarn out of my stash. So that is going to be a good project to do. Christine is thankful for the live. Working on the sleeves of your Etta top. Oh, nice. Mark's back. Dun, dun, dun. You right? He's just standing there staring at me. Oh, he's come for some squash. So, any other thoughts, questions, queries? I haven't done a live for a while, and I do quite like the interaction on the live. I will try to do more of them. It might be an after Florida thing. See, there it is again. It'll be an after the holiday thing because there's quite a lot going on at the moment. But I will absolutely try and do more lives. Puppers is working on their first pair of socks. Amazing. I feel like socks get such a bad press from non-sock knitters because I think they think they're more difficult than they are. And I remember when I learned to make my first pair, I think I was more apprehensive. And when I sat next to someone at my local, at a yarn shop, and they took me through them, I was like, oh, actually, it's just new, isn't it? So it's not, as Gigi says, Gigi made it. It's not difficult. It's just new. Oh, DK socks in a Jaffa color. Oh, I was going to say Jaffa as in orange. Or no, you mean Jafar off of Disney. We know who he is now because we're Disney people. There's loads of Disney movies we want to watch before we go, though. Jess is making a baby blanket. Ah, that's really nice that they're very knit-worthy then, that you made the blanket for the first time and then they asked you to make a second. That's really nice. Hi, David. Yeah, no, little live surprise. I hadn't had enough footage to do an actual episode today. And I've started a new project, so I thought I would just pop along for an hour and you can keep me company while I do some 1x1 rib. Because 1x1 rib is not the thing. You just want to get into the knitting then, don't you? Oh, Jade is sewing up a Toft mini petunia. Oh, but the kitten sewed through the yarn. That's not very fun. I've not made many mini. I don't think I've made any minis. I'm going to make some minis. I'll talk about it in probably next week. I'm not going to do a big Pride thing this year, but I'm going to try and highlight lots of different LGBT plus makers, dyers. But I want to do kind of like a rainbow thing. So I'm going to do a bit of a knit along or a crochet along or a weave along or some form of craft along, and kind of encourage folks to make things like rainbow colors and start sharing it. Because I think more than ever, we need to raise support for our LGBT followers and friends. So I'm going to make Toft minis. I think we're going to make a polar bear. And I'm going to make one in all the rainbow colors. So that's one of my Pride projects. Terry's making the mini Triceratops. That'll be fun. A couple of Toft knits on the go then. Ali's working on a Monday sweater. Oh, nice. Grey with mohair. David's got a DK shawl. The new West Knits DK shawl, the eyelet shawl. Oh, that looks really nice. I would quite like to get that one on the go as well. I haven't got that many double knit shawls either. But I've got my dotted rays on the go, so I need to finish that. That's a worsted weight shawl. That's going to be a big one. Liddy's crocheting a magic pot holder. Java Junkie's crocheting a doily. Oh, nice. May has got some rainbow comb top ready to spin. That'll be fun. And yeah, so I'm just going to think about raising awareness of different LGBT makers. And I think it's really important during Pride. It's important to do it all year round, but Pride is a good opportunity to talk about some of these things. And I think especially in the that we're not going to get into politics, but the political situation worldwide for rights and all the rest of it, I think it's really important to do that. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm hopefully going to get some. I've got a Pride box that I ordered from Niche of Not By Niche. which has got a really cool pride skein in there. So I'm going to make like a pride hat for myself. I'm going to make lots of little pride bears then in all the colors. So I'm going to do a few different little rainbow projects throughout June. And then I'll encourage you folks to do the same thing. We'll have a little make along that'll kind of last June, July, August, maybe. So yeah. Oh, Jess has got lesbian pride yarn. Yes, absolutely. Get out that yarn. Do that. That'll be amazing. Susan's working on a lace scarf in linen, cotton and wool blend. Nice. Catherine's knitting a 5th Anucut shawl in sock yarn. A 4 skein kit. Nice. Liddy, this old lesbian's here for rainbows. This old gay's here for rainbows as well, right? Sarah, I'm working on a sock, but the contrasting heel yarn is completely tangled into the main skein. So you're giving me, oh yeah. We all need a bit of company for sometimes difficult projects. Like actually sitting here, I'm actually standing here chatting to you. I'm nearly at 4. I've got to get to 4 centimeters. So I'm not doing too bad at all. So yeah. Thank you for keeping me company. So for those of you that are watching live that haven't been here from the beginning, I am making a So Basic sweater by Max the Knitter. It's a double knit sweater, and I'm using this yarn by Helen of the Wool Kitchen. And I did an actual swatch. I know. That I washed and pinned and measured. Oh, Mag is making a Martin bear. Yay! Hate doing the ears fiddly, sorry. The ears are totally my fault because, as I'm sure you know, we were talking then when I went to Toft HQ, and I know I'm very, very lucky to have been allowed to go and do that, and then get given my own Martin bear. Kerry's like, right, so what are we going to do? Is it going to be color changing, all one color? And I want it to have loop stitch because I love the loop stitch. So yeah, you can thank me for the fiddly ears. But I feel like once you've done, if you can master the ears, you can do anything. Loop stitches, yeah. Sorry. Puppers 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it's a top-down sweater. So I have cast on the collar. And then it's a raglan shaping. And it's got a rib pattern to come down the sleeves. So yeah, and it's got some short row shaping to lift up the back of the neckline. So I'm excited. What I will need to do, and I think this is a thing that I've seen other people do before. Just say, for example, I was going to split for the sleeves now. I would wind off, say, 10 grams of each of my balls that I'm using at that point. When I split here for the sleeves, I wind off 10 or 20 grams in that bit of the color, because that was the last bit of the color used on the sleeve. And then I start that. When I pick up the sleeves, I then use a little bit of that left over, and I then alternate that in with one of the new skeins. I think that's a thing. Who did that? I think Jude did that from Stranded when he made himself a cappuccino brown. Was it called cappuccino, the colorway he did? He made a jumper, and I'm sure that's what he did. That because even though I'm alternating the skeins now, but these two alternating here will probably finish here, which then when I pick the sleeve back up, I'm on a new skein. So by winding off a little bit of these skeins when I finish, then the sleeves. Why do we do this hobby? It's a lot to think about, isn't it? That's what I'm going to do anyway. I don't know if that's an official thing. I saw Jude do it. It seems very sensible. So that's what I'm going to do. Unless any of you can tell me a reason why I shouldn't do it. Cecil, sorry you're late, your business. That is not a problem. I'm hoping this will save down, and then you can watch it back if you want to watch the beginning. You've cast on a slip extravaganza using bony. Oh yeah, Dan's yarn is insane. It's so bright and vibrant. I've made a cowl in Dan's yarn. It was really nice. Slip extravaganza, I think, is still my favorite ever MCAL. You can't beat a good 5 skein shawl, 900 stitch bind off. That's the one. It's my perfect shawl. Cozy Crab, have you used a doodle deck? No, I've not. Is the short answer. I do really like the concept, though, of being able to have the little, if you don't know, doodle decks are like playing card size, but say there's a dinosaur doodle deck. So each of the playing cards will give you a little motif of, say, a dinosaur. So you can have a T-Rex and a Triceratops and all that kind of stuff. So the ideal being you can make any pattern you want. So if I wanted to make a dinosaur cowl, I would cast on multiples of however many, and then I would knit using that doodle deck. So to kind of pick a mix and make your own designs, I think is such a great idea. And I think you can use them in socks, hats, cowls. So no, if you use them, Cozy Crab, please let me know. Tag me so I can see your progress. They look really good, though. I think it's such a great concept. Hi, Jan. Are you spinning? Jan Tiley, everyone, is here. Jan was my spinning teacher. Jan taught me to drop spindle and started. Jan, look. So this was a spin I finished this morning. The blue, I had too much blue and I ran out of the variegated. So I applied it on there and I'll turn it into a mini skein. But that there is the variegated for this month's club. So I've been spinning this morning, and then on the back of my spinning, I started a jumper. That's my plan. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, whoop, whoop. Exactly, Jan. Right, I'm going to need to leave shortly. I told Mark I would be an hour. We're going to have some food then. And then, purpose, yeah, we do this crazy hobby so we introverts don't have to talk to people in public. I'm a massive extrovert, and I still like to be introverted when I'm in public. I'm really happy. It's taken me a while to build up the confidence, but yeah, I'm happy to knit out in public. Now I feel like I'm a bit more confident. So, like, if someone stares at me and like, "Can I help you?" Yes, I'm knitting. Would you like to see? Yeah, I know that it does kind of come with a confidence thing. Because there were times when I started knitting, I remember Mark had gone to see his mum, and I was knitting in a coffee shop near where they live. And someone stared at me, and I put the yarn away, and I put my knitting down, and I just sat there and drank my coffee because I was so self-conscious. And I know it comes with confidence. Oh, yes, Jan, Worldwide Knitting Public Day. I forgot about that. June the 14th. I think we're free that weekend. I need to plan something. Hopefully, the new knitting shop in Cardiff, that's where we started this as well. Maybe the knitting shop in Cardiff will do something for Worldwide Knitting Public Day. Cozy Crab, didn't think about hats. Yeah, I think you can do them. I have no idea how you do the math for the shaping of the crown, but you could absolutely do a motif. Imagine a dinosaur hat where you did the ribbon, then you had dinosaurs running around the brim, and then you just shape the crown. Oh, it'd be lush. There must be a doodle deck hat pattern on Ravelry or one of the other pattern websites. Absolutely, that would be amazing. Dr. Ladybug is working on Bridges of Venice Shore. Oh, I don't know that one. I'll have a look at that. I'll have to look that one up. I honestly feel like I'm really bad at guesstimating measurements, but I do feel like I might be there because it says to knit for 4 centimeters. Cozy Crab, leave it with you. Right. Cozy Crab is going to investigate for the group. If you find doodle deck hats, then feel free to tag me in a post on Instagram and I'll share it for everyone else. There must be a doodle deck. I feel like I need a dinosaur doodle deck. Noah, our nephew, is obsessed with dinosaurs and dressing up. So I feel like I might need to do a make him a hat. Oh, Emma says there is a hat pattern in the doodle deck dictionary book. There we go. It had to be. It's the perfect thing for make a little. I said I have no idea how you do the crown shaping. That's not. Yeah, there's maths and stuff that needs to do that. And Ali's got a Pride mini skiing set in her stash. Yes, excellent. Let's do that. Hunt Hand Knits has lots of dinosaur pattern. Okay, I'll check that one out. Thank you, Cecil. Right, so I've got my yarns in a tangle. Janice might be right with what she said earlier about doing 2 rounds rather than 1 round. We will see. But I have cast on my jumper. So thank you so much for being here and keeping me company while I do my rib. I said earlier on, for those of you that haven't been here since the beginning, I will absolutely try and do more lives. I really like the interaction of being able to chat to you. So yeah, I will try and do more lives. Maybe I'll see if I can get one in at the end of June, maybe before I go to Florida. I can talk about my holiday projects and what I'm going to plan on making. So we'll see. Oh, Christine's doing a Pride emotional support sheet. Oh, that could be fun. Oh, yeah, that could be fun. And Daniel is doing the slip show again. Yeah, 900 plus stitches. 9 big, massive shawls for the win. That's what we love to hear. So yeah, I will hopefully now. This either was being a super exclusive. There was 163 of us, I think, at one point. So this has either been a super exclusive live just for you folks, or I will be able to save it down. Again, if you weren't here all along, I had to leave and come back because something happened with the Wi-Fi and it was buffering. But thank you so much for keeping me company with my ribbon. I'm going to work out what I need to do now. I need to go measure it. We're going to have some food, bean chili, if you're interested. No carbs, fit for Florida. We are having avocado though, which is you can't have chili, you can't have Mexican without sour cream and guacamole. Just no rice. So yeah, thank you very much for keeping me company. I will hopefully be back next weekend with another video. I've got something that's in plan that I want to do and want to share. So it might be that one. It might be another chatty one. If not, it might be another live. Who knows? I'll be back next weekend, next Monday. So yeah, thank you so much for being here and for joining me. It's been a fun hour. As always, when I do lives, they go so quickly. But I'm glad now I've made some progress and was able to knit, because I know in other times I'm like, right, I'm going to do, and I end up chatting and making mistakes. 1 by 1 rib is good for chatting. So there we go. Right. Have wonderful weeks. I keep forgetting that it's Monday, not Sunday. So have a wonderful week. It is Monday, short week if you're in work. Thank you very much for keeping me company. So I will speak to you all very soon. And yeah, until we speak again, happy crafting.